welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are going to review... What are we going to review tonight, Mike?
I'm glad you asked. Okay. John Carpenter's Suburban Screams. Now, it's only just come out. It's a horror...
Yeah, by the time you get this, it will be... This month it will be November again, as I said, and this one would have come out in October. So this is another October one. Okay,
This came out a couple of days ago for us. Yeah, today's about the 17th of October, but you won't hear this till the beginning of November sometime. Now, it's a horror TV or it's a horror series, 6 episodes. John Carpenter.
Directed a couple of them.
He may have directed them. I'm just going to directed by. I'll mention the directors involved with the series. John Carpenter obviously directed some. Michelle Latimer, Jan Palacki, and Jordan Roberts. Those are the 4 people involved with the direction therein.
Yeah. Despite this, it's still John Carpenter's baby.
Yeah, well, it's his baby. He probably contributed most to getting the production up and running.
Well,
I can't say too much. I don't know what the budget is. I don't know. And there's no box office.
But I can tell you guys that the music scores for this are done by none other than John Carpenter.
Oh, and one of his sons as well?
No.
Okay. Just I thought he had something to do with it. I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Or Michael Myers' cat? No.
But he does have that feeling because when you listen to some of these episodes, you get the John Carpenter music there.
Yeah. Now, here we go. There was a series production management person called Radka Kadlokova, I think. And Radka was the sexual series production person, but there were actually some other producers probably. There's about a dozen of them, so I won't go into all them. And anyway, we might make this a bit short tonight because we can't say too much. We'll just gloss over what the series is and whatever and give some comments. Because there's no production information and stuff.
There is no say whether or not this was the first ever idea that John Carpenter came up with. That he wanted to create a real one that deals with real life stories or stuff like that, real life horror situations. And stuff.
Well, having said that, the 6 episodes, as far as I can see so far, as far as our investigations go, are all based on real occurrences. Now, whether these are 100% accurate, don't know, but people are supposed to be interviewed. A bit like a biodrama type thing.
Because some of the stuff is lacks of evidence because in one episode...
It's hearsay.
It's all hearsay. They say, oops, I went into the woods to try to find this unknown thing, and all of a sudden I happen to have my camera with me, but where's the evidence? Where's the photo evidence?
So some of it's a bit wishy-washy that way, but they are based on real occurrences.
Yeah.
Now, some people will say, it's not that exciting. Well, maybe reality's not that exciting. It's not full of jump scares like a slasher. It's not full of jump scares like a slasher movie.
Yeah.
It's reporting real cases.
Yes.
And that's the reality of it to be the part that's scary.
Yes, bear in mind, guys, so you guys know, one reviewer commented on one of these episodes and said, lack of jump scares, not enough scares in this movie. And I would have told this person, if I could comment, that this is not based on fantasy. This is a true story or true enough story about real people.
Of things. So it's going to be a bit tamer.
There might be a few teeny wee scares for atmosphere here and there, but they're mostly just there to give us a little bit of
So in some ways, some people might find it a little bit not as exciting as John Carpenter's previous works, but it's not that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's supposed to be a real thing. You're not going to find jump scares in real life.
Not all the time, but some oohs and ahs, coos, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there might be a couple little bit jump scary type things, or some what do you call it? What else do you call it?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go through the stories a bit now.
They try to add a bit of sinisterness to the stories, not to bait the audience, which is the whole point of this.
Yeah.
This is how I feel about this, that he's trying to bait the audience to get them to actually watch this, which is the whole point of this whole thing, to get inside your head, to get you to watch it.
And make you think.
Yeah, and
this is
at the
real?
beginning of each episode, he says that things are scary. You're going to see after you watch each episode that you never look at your neighbors or your town ever again in the same light. There's a bit of truth in that. That you're going to find that you're not going to always have the nice neighbors next door that might turn out to be. They may have dark secrets of their own.
You won't have me next door. I'm a really nice guy.
I think that's the message that it's conveying that John is trying to convey to the audience, that
real life is more scary.
That real life is scary, and
Anyway.
you don't need Michael Myers haunting your driveway.
No.
The monsters, the things that bump in the night, are
Your next door neighbour. Or the kid who delivers the newspaper.
Or just the things that will get you starting to think about what kind of people are out there.
And here we go. I'll run through the actors. I won't mention who they play because it's all over the different episodes and stuff and different things and whatever. So what I'm going to do, just out of courtesy, I'm going to just read out the names of the actors.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Will O'Donnell, Andrew Buzzio, Maria Almeida, Ben Walton-Jones, Josephine Dewars, Chloe Zitunian, I think.
Yeah.
I hope that's the right way to say it. Sarah Korbalova, James McVan, Julie Stevens, Paul Maynard, Annette Holland, Jerry Roscoe, and Sarah Pretty. There you go.
Yes.
They're the main actors.
So
and
my
stuff,
point
yeah.
in this, guys, is that this could happen anywhere. That's probably the
Your town.
implication in this movie. This TV series. It's trying to express that very thought. You don't need to go all the way across town to actually see a Halloween movie just to get scared, because we live in it. We may not see the masked figure walking down the hallway and corridors and creep us out.
Not every monster has a Michael Myers mask
And
on.
not every scary villain or scary person has a mask.
Look, I'm not wearing a mask,
listen,
and I'd be downright
and
scary.
Watch is what we're trying to say. So I'll get into the episodes because they're going to have different stories, and it's not just slashes you're going to be seeing in this. It's going to have hauntings, ghosts, and
Well, let's just get into one at a time and tell the story.
in real life situations with real people who are actually are telling their stories. You're going to have one-on-one interviews with people who are real people, supposedly, that will tell their stories, and the actors, the ones Mike just mentioned now, are the ones who reenact it. Right, Mike?
I believe so.
Yes. So, anyway, the first one is called Kelly, and it's about a bunch of people who fiddle around with a Ouija board, a spirit board, and they contact a spirit that's supposedly called Kelly. Kelly
Whatever. Fitzpatrick, I think. Yeah.
Fitzpatrick. And she's a sort of a relative to one of the boy's girlfriends, and he starts getting haunted by this girl.
Yeah, see, as anyone who knows anything about Ouija boards, spirit boards, whatever, you open them up and then you use them properly and then you close them down properly.
Yeah.
But what happened is the spirit they conjured didn't go home because they didn't close the board down, didn't send the spirit away, and the spirit was trying to make contact and tell people her story, maybe.
Yeah. But no, of course, things go pear-shaped in the story, as you will soon see. So I'll move on to the next one, guys. The next one is called A Killer Comes Home. This one deals with a real-life killer who terrorizes his local town.
What was his name?
And the newspaper... Well, actually, a newspaper reporter and his editor, they get the story in, and they tell the story bit by bit. And of course, the killer does get caught, and now he's facing life imprisonment.
He's still in jail.
He faces parole every so often, but he continues.
And they deny parole. He's going to stay in jail until he rots in there.
Yeah.
But from what the story goes, if it's accurate, he was a naughty guy in the town, and he killed a lot of people, or a couple of people, and then he got put in jail, and a couple of years later he got out and went back home. A little bit like Michael Myers did, but he wasn't.
I think his first murders probably started in 1986, and he got.
Do you remember his name?
I don't remember.
I haven't got it written down.
But he does get caught in 1989 and returns to jail facing no parole whatsoever.
Yeah, so he's still in jail for multiple murders and stuff.
Yeah, his murders are really creepy. Anyway, the next one is called The Bunny Man. And that one's about an urban legend dealing with a man who killed children and bunnies, and he dressed in a bunny type outfit.
Well, he had didn't he? Everyone keeps saying he dressed as a bunny. He didn't dress as a bunny. He had normal clothes on, but he had a Hessian bag over his head, but the ends were tied up like rabbit ears. And he was also used to kill rabbits and skin them and eat them, obviously, for nourishment.
Yes.
However, he looked like, in the shadows with those ears, he looked like a bunny, so they hence nicknamed him the Bunny Man instead of the Boogeyman.
Then, many, many years later, many years later, the same town is terrorized by the same or similar copycat killer named Bunny Man.
Or it could be the same Bunny Man who's come back because
there is stories. We do get a few stories like statements, not from the people, but from actual police statements from individuals who probably saw or seen the Bunny Man, and they're not really present in this video, guys, because I don't know. Maybe some of them was probably either did it for 5 minutes of fame, and they're just doing it because it's their way of saying this is why this happened to us, and that's why we didn't get in trouble or anything like that. So
exactly.
Is there a way of making an excuse that? Well, not really. I mean, some of these people you don't know if they're being truthful. I mean, this is back in the 1970s, around when John Carpenter started working on Halloween. So who knows? Maybe this is his inspiration. Who knows?
You never know.
You never know where inspiration strikes.
Did he pull a rabbit out of his hat for that one?
Good point. Anyway, the point is, in that story, there is many of the Bunny Man's myths or stuff hovering over it, and they still haven't found if it was a copycat killer or maybe the original ghost haunting them. Yeah. He does terrorize a few people, but no one gets hurt except for a guy who gets trapped in a bear and bunny trap.
And he hurts his foot running for the running away from the Bunny Man through the woods, and he gets caught in a bunny rabbit trap, don't he?
Yeah. Who knows what occurred those nights, because we don't see those other witnesses in this. We just hear about it from people who know of the legend and the statements, obviously.
Exactly.
Except for one guy who said he and his friends, who were when they were 13, went off to try to find the Bunny Man's hideout. And they found it. They took the camera and took a few photos. We didn't see the photos.
Exactly. So you start wondering.
Yes. What happened to the photos?
The Time magazine? No.
Anyway,
local newspaper?
They said they were going to plan on taking it to the Times magazine or newspaper in hopes of getting famous. I like to think they went to the cabin, couldn't find anything, didn't take any photos, and just headed back to their campground.
So that's why you can be a bit lame. Yeah.
The next story is called The Cursed Neighborhood. And now I'm going to bring up this fact, guys, to you guys. So you guys know, it's not just haunted houses you have to worry about. There's also haunted neighbourhoods.
Now, the story is that there was a settler back in the early days, and he is claiming that land and clearing it, and they were being attacked by Indians, and the man and his group of other helpers and whatever, or clearing the land and whatever, were attacked and killed by the Indians. And his dying words, he said, "This land is mine, you'll never have it, yada, yada, yada."
Yeah.
And he said to have cursed the land and is haunting the area, which was his land. So hence he's haunting an area, not a particular house.
I've been trying to find this place since I watched this episode, and usually sometimes they give you a detail of the...
they give you a bit of an idea where it's at. So, but sometimes they don't either. So it's a bit hard to... Yeah. I'd say the Bunny Man, we found out that one, and that escape killer guy, we found out that one. But the other ones, it's very hard to find it, to do a Sherlock Holmes on it if you haven't got any evidence.
Oh, I should mention, guys, I skipped over one episode that I think about it, called The House Next Door, and that one's about a haunted house, and this boy who witnessed a few disappearances and a little bit of deaths in this haunted house.
So when he was young, like younger than 10 probably, there was a little girl and a family living next door, and something happened. They disappeared overnight.
Yeah.
And his parents said, they just left in a hurry. That's all he got.
What does that tell you?
And now he's a teenager, probably about 10 years later, or 8 years later, and a new family's in there, and something very, very similar happens.
Yeah.
And of course, people disappear.
Yeah, of course, both... He was kind of crushing on this girl named Lisa Kennedy, and her dad kind of goes bizarre, weird, like something was possessing him. I don't know what it is, but it sounds like something...
We think the house has got an evil spirit.
Or demon.
Or something, and affects the people in it. In this case, we think Daddy was being possessed by the demon.
Yeah. He was a dentist, and I know what you're thinking. Creepy.
He's creepy already.
Creepy. Yeah. Anyway, this guy crushes on the guy's daughter, and he even tries in his hardest capacity to tell her the house is haunted by evil spirits or demons. And
she didn't believe him.
I think she was even in denial herself, because she may have witnessed some weird stuff, but could not work out if it was maybe the realtor told them that you may experience some really funny stuff with the electricity.
A realtor would not tell you squat.
They probably would not tell you if a house is haunted or demon possessed.
Someone died in this house. People went missing. They're not going to tell you that. It's not a good selling point.
But they probably said to them, if you see anything weird, it's just the house settling, like you said, Mike, in the past. If you hear a rumbling noise in the pipes...
that's the sewer mains.
Or if your lights start to flickering, it's just electrical disturbance.
Bad electrical.
Yeah, stuff like that. They probably just shrugged it off and called it, let's just get electrician in and hopefully you'll fix it up. And, of course, his daughters survived, but we don't see them again after that, because...
They left town and never came back, and they never made contact with the young boy again.
Which is kind of weird. They could have wrote to each other or sent a letter. It's not ancient... it's not ancient to send a letter or phone each other. This is back in the 1980s again, guys.
Yeah. Before we had emails and mobile phones. We might have had mobile phones, but
I think
not as mobiles are now.
Parents at one point started believing their son, because for a while they didn't believe the house was haunted or didn't choose to ignore it.
Nah, not real. There you go.
Yeah, but one day they decided to move out of their own home and kind of move to a different suburb area, a different place, where the boy grew up, went to college, and applied for a doctor's, whatever. He became a doctor, so you guys know. And that's his life story, I should mention. No, sorry.
How are we going with the stories?
Now the last one is called The Phone Stalker, which is kind of the newest of stories, because this one was around done in 2017, which is not too many years ago.
This is longer, and it's still going.
It's close to home when you think about this, because a lot of you guys have experienced stalkers out there who deal with phone messages or hacking your phones or hacking your internet.
But this is a really good hack, because the guy is actually phoning her. We think possibly he's got cameras planted in her house, but he could have actually hacked a phone and PC, or laptop, whatever she got. And at work, she gets nuisance phone calls.
Yes.
And at one time, she's there working late, and all the phones started to ring.
Ring,
a little bit like the Lawnmower Man. Ooh,
yeah. Who knows if that part was true? I'm not sure.
It could be just embellished by
it could have been
Johnny
embellished
Carpenter, but
by to make it look more cooler. Because most of the time in some of these scenes, we don't hear the voice of the person talking. We just get the impression that something sinister is about to happen, and that's our audience imagination is playing. Is getting involved in the story.
Do you want to play a little game?
Anyway, I do feel sometimes that this one creeps me up the most because this one is close to something that could really happen to people.
Look, you get stalkers on telephones, you get stalkers on your PC, you get stalkers stalking down the road. Yeah. So it's okay, but that one is ongoing.
Yeah. The actual woman who got these stalking things, she moved out, but she's still being pegged by, after say changing her phone, probably twice, she continues to get horrible messages from this person.
Yeah, and you got a couple of different stages during the shows. You got images sent to her, images of people standing at the front door, and she's talking to them. At almost exactly the same time, or a couple of seconds after the people have gone, she gets a text message and there's an image going, look, that's you saying goodbye to your guests.
I also have a theory about this, seeing as it takes place during her birthday. And no doubt the house would be, popping in with visitors here and there. Someone may have come in,
mini cameras,
planted a few cameras, may have stolen her key or her duplicate key. And
not. You could have planted some cameras when he's there. I'm making little ones now.
Yeah. And then he started. Probably, even when she's probably not looking at her phone, he probably picked up her phone that was probably not password protected and hacked it. And then the same people with her laptop, which she has a laptop, so you guys. So once this happens, her life is an open book to this guy.
Yeah, this guy is stalking her and seeing it, knows what she's doing at any given time of
Every
day.
Every time you see a photo that he sends of her, he makes it photoshopped in a creepy way.
Usually now, click, 5 seconds later or 10 seconds later, she gets it.
Yeah.
So,
this guy
it's real time.
Yeah. He also sends a picture of his, privates.
His little gentleman, and she said she said to her friends, is that your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend? No, it's not my ex-boyfriend. I'd recognise him.
Yeah. So, guys, if you guys are asking me, where's the police in this investigation?
She got a policeman.
And what happened?
Tried to hit on her. Yeah, Lord.
Yeah, so you guys know, as I said before, this has got interviews, and you could see that she's a nice-looking lady.
Yeah, no, we believe the people being interviewed may be the real people.
Maybe the real people.
And then, because, maybe. But they might be actors too. I think chances are they're actors, but I don't think the real people want to be on the show.
Yeah, I imagine
they're making out the real people.
The real lady. I don't know her name. I keep forgetting. What her name is. She might be too scared to even appear on the show.
But see, what we have here, sometimes we've got a case where an older person, like middle-aged person, is telling about something that happened when they were a kid. So, and it's not mentioned the two people playing the same role here. So what I would suggest is maybe there are some people being interviewed might be the real people.
Yeah, because if these were the real people, maybe they would have. If these were the real people, then no doubt they would have their faces blurred or have a silhouette of the back.
They're not hiding around. Like the one there where the boy was talking about the haunted house next door.
Yeah.
He was a kid. They were two guys, a younger boy and a teenager played the role, and he's telling the story. He's middle-aged.
Yeah.
So the middle-aged guy might be the real... No, he's talking about when I was a kid.
Yeah.
He's not his father's kid. The guy telling the story being interviewed was the kid when he grew up older.
I know that. I was referring to the fact that the guy who being interviewed is like father age, meaning he's probably already a father with 2 or 3 children.
I just said that, middle-aged, whatever. Yeah, or a dog, a cat, whatever, horse. But he's older, so that could be the real person.
Yeah.
And whereas some of the other things there, that lady being stalked may not be the real lady, it may be. she may have volunteered to be on the show. I do not know.
Yeah.
But they got actors' names here and stuff, so
yeah.
it's really hard to put down.
It would be nice if we actually know if they look like their counterparts in this. I mean...
Don't know. I would actually have the real people involved in the show.
It would be nice if they mentioned their names. Because some of these people, some of them don't all have their full names. Most of the time it's just a first name. Like one character names himself John or Dan or something like that. And if you look up their details, like maybe like the first one, Kelly one, you can, if you put in her full name, like then you'll be able to find out her, the real story behind it. Sometimes people think that her death was.
No, we found that. We did. We looked up.
We did. We looked it up.
This Kelly person. I can't. Fitzgerald?
Fitzgerald.
Or whatever. And she was a really missing person.
Kelly Fitzgerald.
Who had been killed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a bit about the Ouija boards, what a spirit thing may be real. Do not know.
Yeah, I think that the guy who's getting these messages from her, I think he does explain that she was a drug addict and his girlfriend's cousin, and
he got drawn to the place where she was camped, and he didn't even know her, so he could have been a sensitive.
Sometimes people out there, some people who are sensitive to certain things, supernatural occurrences, stuff like that, and not aware of it themselves. I think it has something to do with the belief factor, that, like you said about Beetlejuice, Mike, that you have, there's some kind of level of belief in this sort of thing.
You need, okay. In Beetlejuice, when the young girl, what's her name?
Lydia Deetz.
Lydia found the handbook for the recently deceased. She read something or said something out that it was in the book.
A lot of people
generally won't see spirits because they don't believe in them. So anything weird, unusual, and strange.
Well, they describe it as weird people. I mean, live people ignore the strange and unusual.
But she's a bit strange, unusual, so she saw it. But the point is, if you don't believe, and you say, I don't believe this stuff, you won't see it because you've got your mind set up not to accept it.
Yeah,
so,
like in this...
And this guy was open for it.
Yeah, in that story, the guy, his girlfriend, she didn't believe. His friend sort of believes a little bit, but Dan got more of the messages, like, because he was accessible to what's been happening, obviously. He even sort of vision of Kelly getting high and then suddenly passing out, and then the guys who were present with her, they kind of panicked, thinking that she's dead. They then wrapped her body in a sleeping bag and threw her into the water. And
she was still alive.
Yeah, she was alive when she was in the lake,
floating down the river.
Yeah,
lake.
Floating down the river, and some hikers, I think, found her body, the police labelled it as sort of accidental death.
What you say? She put herself in a sleeping bag, zipped her right up, and then jumped in the river. I don't think so.
Whatever you call it, guys, it's still murder.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
And considering these guys, the drug addicts, didn't bother to phone the police and say, or bother to get an ambulance in, because she was still alive, technically.
Well, they thought she was dead.
Yes. Maybe a bit of, a little bit of, not medication, but maybe something that could pump the stomach out and maybe help get rid of the drugs would have helped.
A bit of patience. She might have worked through it.
And, of course, these guys freaked out because if you're possessed with drugs or anything like that, you could look at serious jail time and stuff like that. So they panicked and didn't report the incident.
Bugger. Anyway.
So, these guys, now you know about the series itself, and it's only 6 episodes, and as I said before, they probably released it also so you guys get a good reaction.
I think they've only done 6 episodes for a couple of reasons. I think the main reason is that they want to see how it's going to be received by the viewing public. Why waste money on something which is going to go belly up, pear-shaped, whatever. So, and having said that,
Yes.
If you're looking for jump scares, like in a slasher movie or something, you ain't going to get in this. This is more like a documentary type style thing. Based on real stories, which means it's going to be okay.
You might get a few scares. Don't get me wrong, guys.
There's a couple bits here and there,
not.
But
again, this is based on real stories. Therefore, you better beware that not to expect it to be
big scares.
Don't expect The Ring. Don't expect Halloween.
Don't expect Michael Myers walking down the street or
you're going to get
Freddy Krueger
because you're looking for the wrong film when you think
type of show.
Wrong type of show. This is not one of those Tales from the Crypt type shows.
No, it's based on reality, and reality sometimes ain't that scary.
Yeah, and when you think about this series, when I watched the full series, guys, I had a hard time getting to sleep that very night because it was, considering it's based on real true stuff and the stuff could happen in my own neighborhood. Like what I said about the phone stalker could happen because the people on the internet could be very dangerous.
They can be.
So my message is that just because the reality can be more scary than horror movies and TV shows. So that's the message that's probably coming off this series.
Yeah.
So anyway, let's rate this now.
Well, wait a minute.
Well, we're getting close. Considering we don't have anything else to say.
Anything we could say? Yeah, it's really hard to sort of judge this one because honestly,
again, like usual, guys, in this one, we have nothing on from Wikipedia to tell us a direct idea behind the story.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just that when you touch on reality like these shows, sometimes people are expecting more out of them, and grading it as a good show or a bad show here is going to be hard because my reference point's usually all the makeup stuff, which has got jump scares and other good groovy things. But having said that, I think really John Carpenter has put a good group of stories together. Whether they're 100% accurate, I do not know.
I do wonder whether this was his first idea, or first time he actually presents this idea to do this to the producers. Did he approach them years ago asking, maybe I'd like to do something based on true things? Or did they say, no, we don't want you to do that, we want you to do this?
Yeah, so now, what I was going to say, I don't know if it's based on real stuff, but the point is, they're interesting tales. No, they're not full of jump scares.
Don't expect that, guys.
And there's not any big flashy climaxes in it. But it's a documentary style, and some things left open-ended because there's no real closure on them. So if you can put up with that sort of thing and accept that as a documentary style TV series, I would say, I think he's nailed it. The stories are good, the acting's pretty good, I suppose. Yeah, everything's he's met the market for it, but it doesn't grab me that much because I'm not into this style of stuff. However, I can appreciate what he's doing, but I can't give it a 10 because I didn't find that interesting, so I'm going to give it about an 8.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10 myself. I think. Yeah. I've been trying to keep an open mind about this, just in case if there is something there that will jump out at me.
Like a bunny man or something.
Not in a jump scare kind of way, but more of a this part sounds very truthful in a way. Because the rest of the time when you watch this, it makes me think of all those other horror-related movies. And like I said about the haunted house one, there's no way I could walk into someone's house, even if it's no one resides in it, because I don't do that, because it's private property, and my parent and I. Most of my time, I often listen to my parents in those days, where I just say, I'm not allowed inside someone's property unless I'm invited. The vampires in those vampire movies.
You can't come in. Oh, please. You can't come in.
But anyway. I do hope that this will not be the last time we'll see.
I would like to see John Carpenter pump out a few more, and possibly, I'm not saying find more interesting stories, but there are obviously a lot of stories out there, but deliver them for a little bit more dynamics in it, maybe.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, and like this mix, not just the usual, haunted house or haunted street or haunted ghosts or just the slasher, just the right amount that you're looking for.
You need to have a little bit happening and to make it interesting. If it's not interesting, even if it's factual or fiction, it doesn't matter. It still has to be interesting enough to keep the viewer's attention. Yeah. And I think he's struggling a little bit with this one.
Yeah, I do think that
it's like watching the news.
Yeah, I do think that he was probably. I did like it in each narration at the beginning of each title card, whatever. That he often words. I think he was a narrator in each episode where he says, about how wherever these streets are being haunted by, of creepiness and stuff, and you'll never look at your neighbours in the same light again after you watch this.
Yeah, you have to throw a telescope away,
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys know where to find it.
Well, wait a minute. I'll just go back and reinforce that. At the moment, like I said, as at today, which is the 17th of October we're doing this, it's only been out for a couple of days, and it's available on Peacock as at today. You're going to hear this in almost 3 weeks' time, probably. So I would say by then, have a look at your Amazon, have a look at your eBay, look at your other streaming sites. It may be out there.
Yeah. It may not be everyone's cup of tea, so don't expect Creepshow or Tales from the Crypt.
No, different style. They're all fake, and they can make fake ones up and make them more interesting.
So don't try to compare it with those ones because they're not meant to be real.
But I think it's a good effort. But the stories need to be delivered just a bit more dynamically. Dynamically? That sounds like a good word, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, so John's done a good job. So I think so, but not my cup of tea totally. Yeah.
Anyway, so you know where to find it now.
Yeah,
so
Peacock.
let us know in the comments what you guys think of each episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed.
Feedback is nice.
Yeah, it's always good to get feedback. So I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode, and we'll let you guys know what we're going to be reviewing next time. Okay. All right. This is Sarah Stephenson
and Michael
saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.